Blue fans, good afternoon, Bleed Big Blue Nation. Good evening, Bleed Big Blue Nation. This is coming to you live on Franchise Monday. Coming to you on Thursday night. Coming to you live for my 2-minute rant on a Monday morning. Let me tell you something. Coming to you live on a Friday afternoon. Coming to you on a Wednesday afternoon. Joe, coming to you on a Tuesday afternoon. Coming to you on a Thursday afternoon. Coming to you on a fabulous Friday afternoon. Coming to you live on a Monday afternoon. Coming to you on a Wednesday afternoon. Marco?
Marco was not here. I don't know where Marco's at.
Did you just hear that?
Yeah, I heard all that.
What was that?
You haven't been here for that.
No, what was that?
That's how we replay our nightmares.
Are we ready to get down to business? Where's Justin?
Yeah. Justin comes in late. He's always got Demi taking him.
He's a diva. Let's go. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Bleed Big Blue podcast, dedicated coverage of the New York Football Giants by your hosts, Marco, Trifecta, T. Merritt, and JBW.
What's up, Bleed Big Blue Nation? You know I'm hot, right? Justin, you know I'm hot, right? Timmy, where are you? Welcome to the Bleed Big Blue podcast show. Got to start off with a little music because it's been a goddamn week. Who we got with us on the line? Jimmy D here. Is anybody with me?
What's up? Can you hear me?
Very low there, Marco. Very low. Bring it up on the uptake.
Very low.
On the upkeep. There you go. That's better. There we go. Hey, Marco.
How are we sounding now?
That's
clear my voice.
Yeah, you sound good. You sound good. Am I coming through?
You are coming through. I believe Tim is on the line. Tim, are you hiding?
Tim is hiding. He heard that music and he went ducking.
All right, let me make sure everything is up on the stream. Everyone, if it's not coming through on the stream, just hit me up in the comment section, but I think we are all good. I think we're all live.
So what's there to talk about?
There's no news. Nothing going on, right?
Are you going to be on the message boards tonight, scouring the questions? All that good stuff?
I shall.
If you guys are listening, and we hope that you are, 516-453-9383 is the number to call. Jimmy D, your trifecta. Marco, Tim on the line. We're expecting Justin to call any minute. And what is there to talk about? Eli?
Any news?
Cluster? Where do we even start with this thing? Because I can just go off for 2 hours in the Tourette's-filled rant, but I really don't want to do that. So where do we want to? Do we want to start with how Mara completely destroyed this? Do we want to start with the fan base? Do we want to start with the former players? There's so much.
So I think we start right from the beginning. Eli gets benched, right? The real reason Eli got benched is not because he's not playing well enough and he's the reason they're losing. They want to see Davis Webb, but they have the problem of Geno Smith in the middle. So the plan originally was
in the middle.
Geno was going to play the first game, and then Davis Webb was going to play the game coming home against Dallas.
Yeah, I thought that. Yeah, I thought that was the plan.
The problem is that John Mara had a misunderstanding with then head coach Ben McAdoo because he thought if they were getting blown out, the other guys were going to get a burn, and that's not what Ben thought.
I don't know. I had a huge problem with. I mean, I think they made the right decision. I think the writing was on the wall that they were going to fire Reese and McAdoo at the end of the season, right? So, they came out a good month ago now. You heard the reports that they were going to start looking for a quarterback, that they were going to look at the quarterbacks in the upcoming draft. Well, right there, that should have set off a little bit of a warning to the fan base, like a shot across the bow, so to speak, to say, hey, this is coming. We're going to have to see Davis Webb. I think what they fell into was they missed on 2 points. There's 2 things that they missed here. One was they should have addressed this at the trade deadline, okay? Because the trade deadline would have netted you an asset if you could have handled this the correct way. When you don't handle it at the trade deadline because of the fact that you thought you had a streak in you that you were going to be able to contend and get back into the playoff race, well, by not recognizing how bad you were and how lost this season was early enough to do this to the point where it made sense, Mara put them in a position where Geno was preparing as the number 2 because if you're preparing to win games and try to make it to the playoffs, then you would rather have a veteran quarterback in a situation where, God forbid, Eli got hurt because you're trying to win the game. The goal when we drafted Davis Webb was not for him to play this season. It was a long-term project. However, it's the NFL, and things change on the fly. And the Giants did not read the tea leaves in time. They were delusional to the point where they thought they still had a shot, and they mishandled this from the jump because the right move was to do what Mara set in motion, was to say we're going to look at the quarterbacks in the draft, and now we need to see, not Geno Smith, but I need to see Davis Webb on tape for a good amount of time before I go and make that pick. Because if you were picked 84th in the NFL draft, you're thought highly of. You're not an afterthought. The goal is that you're going to play at some point down the line. You're going to contribute. I mean, help me out if I'm wrong here, guys. The fan base completely went apeshit when we benched Eli. The former players and the fan base went total snowflake. And Mara threw the other 2 under the bus and now is playing Eli to spite the future. I don't. It's a complete mess. It's a complete mess. So, someone help me understand what's going on.
I don't see it as that bad.
I'll help you understand what's going on.
Mute him already. No.
I'll help you understand what's going on.
Here we go.
It's very simple to me what's going on.
Mhm.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
So
Go ahead.
This is what happened. John Mara thought it was a good idea to bench Eli. It may or may not have been a good idea to bench Eli. I'm sure we'll get into that at some point in the next 2 hours.
You think?
But the fans were appalled that Eli was benched.
Fucking snowflakes.
Former players were appalled that Eli was benched. Players that included Zoolander. Zoolander, if you're listening, Zoolander, if you're listening, please call in.
516-453-9383. Please,
Boy, is Justin playing to the crowd.
We know that you're itching to be relevant. But in any case, what transpired was that slowly the public outcry was pushing down on John Mara's tiny balls, and he thought, hey, this isn't a good idea anymore. So
I'll fire everybody.
So I'm going to fire everybody and then admit that it was my idea. and still get away with everything. Now,
I'm bringing my broom because it's a mess. We got a caller calling from 973. We're going to get him on the line in a second. If you guys are listening, we're expecting a lot of calls tonight. This is a hot New York Giant topic. We still got to get to Tim and Marco, but we don't want to leave our callers on the line. Oh, he hung up. Oh, stage fright. Marco, what were you going to say before the NWO cut you off?
Excuse me. That drink is a little harsh. Hold on. Let me take another sip.
I got my Cavassier right here.
So here's the deal.
If we have any ladies, call in. It's going to be a long night.
Let's just go right here. Did Ben McAdoo deserve to be fired?
Yes.
My wife says yes.
So I think eventually.
My wife hates Ben McAdoo's hair.
He has a masterful hairdo, by the way.
Yeah, I thought the hair was the best part about him. But go ahead.
This gives Eli a little message. Even though it's coming slowly, we're planning to move on. We don't have to worry about your streak. It's over. It's done. We're looking forward to the future, and these other guys are going to get burned.
Then why wait?
You can't have multiple seasons where you're dropping, when you only have 2 wins, 1 win, 6-7 game losing streaks. It just doesn't happen. I love Eli.
No,
Don't
I
get
agree
me
with
wrong.
you, Marco. But then
him.
why wait? Like, what is the sense right now of waiting?
You're gonna bring Davis Webb in eventually. Is he gonna see
But
burn?
the plan was to bring him in. But the initial plan was for him to start this week at home against Dallas. And now because the fans are oh my God, Giant fans, what happened to you? What happened to you?
Oh,
what
God.
happened? Oh my God. It's like Eli is the only player this has ever happened to. My poor Eli. But I don't feel bad for Eli at all. He's making $22 million. We're talking about, let's real talk, right? Love the guy. Greatest quarterback in franchise history. He pulled a bitch move coming to New York. He should have been playing in San Diego.
That's not true.
It is true. It is true. Okay? So
he wanted to be in New York.
When you're going to tell me all of a sudden now with Eli it's all emotions, but when he was a rookie it was all business. It wasn't being grateful for just being drafted. It was manipulating where you wanted to go play. And now 14 years later, when we're in a situation where it's not your fault, but this is the perfect storm where we have a bad record and there's 4 quarterbacks coming out that can go in the top 5 picks next year, then considering we drafted your heir apparent thinking that we were going to be in this situation for 2 years, shit has expedited itself, and now I need to see this kid. And I don't owe you an explanation, Eli Manning. I have a franchise to run. And that's it. And that is it. And if the fans want to cry and wear his jersey, thank you for buying the jersey. You just added to the team's revenue. Thank you.
Hold on. Before anyone goes out and buys an Eli Manning jersey, the color rush are coming out. There's a link in the description down below if you want to send some cash my way. Thank you.
Yeah. Subscribe to woeiseli.com.
Cheap plug.
That's why he's the CEO.
woeiseli.com, the GoFundMe page for Eli. Because he's poor Eli. This isn't about, and I'm not saying that he deserved to get benched. He didn't do anything wrong this season. The team sucks around him. Do I think if you put Eli in a good situation, he can win a Super Bowl? Yeah. Put him on Jacksonville. Put him on Denver. Put him in some of these other situations where the team is better built around him. This isn't his fault. But we can't apologize to him for wanting to be able to put ourselves in a better situation for 3 to 4 years from now. I mean, I'm sorry, guys. It doesn't make me any less of a Giant fan when I say, fuck you, Eli. It's time to move on, buddy. Thank you. It's time to move on. Thank you.
Tim?
You guys take the floor for a second. I'm going to have a cigarette.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I
have something to say.
I let the NWO go for a little bit. Well, one thing I found for a little bit was I found that Ben McAdoo and Jerry Reese were all about Geno Smith, and I read something up like that. I don't know how much they were willing to pay to play Davis Webb since he wasn't in the reps anyway. So that was not the plan initially. He was still taking snaps from the scout team. So, go from there. So, I don't know if Geno Smith was probably going to end up starting this week anyway. And that's my point. If you're going to bench Eli, I'm not a fan of it, especially the way it happened. Let him finish out the season if it's his last season, whatever. But if you're going to do that, play the young kid. We know what Geno Smith was. There's no reason otherwise to bench Eli if it's not for Davis Webb. And I even read up things where they said Eli probably would have been not happier with the thing, but he would have dealt with it better if it was Davis Webb taking over the reps than Geno Smith.
But I don't know. I mean, I didn't have a problem with Geno starting a game. The guy was the number 2 all season. You're just going to jump him?
And that's my point. But that's my point. Is either he should have been the number 2 and Davis Webb should have been the number 2, or maybe Davis Webb's just not ready to play.
Yeah, but you're talking about 2, and that is why I said at the beginning where they didn't read the tea leaves. If by week 6 or 7 they couldn't see that, okay, it's time to start expediting the process here with Davis Webb, that's on them. Like if they couldn't see where this was going when we did, then that's on them. But the fact that's not Geno Smith's fault, and it's not Davis Webb's fault, and it's not Eli Manning's fault. That's Mara's fault.
Well, no, it's McAdoo's fault as far as talent evaluation, and Jerry Reese as well.
Those guys were on the hot seat, and everybody knew that they were on the hot seat. And at what point does ownership need to run their franchise when you don't trust the guys that are down there making decisions and you know you're going to fire them at the end of the year anyway? At what point do you grab the bull by the horns and say, you two puppets are going to do exactly what the fuck I tell you for the next 10 weeks, and then you're gone?
I can see Mara saying that to McAdoo, but to say to Jerry Reese has been with the Giants for 23 years.
And he just got kicked out in the middle of the season.
Hey, stuff had to happen. They knew they wanted people to know that, Giants are ready to hire somebody. And I like the fact that we got the head start on everybody.
Which is good.
No, listen, here's the deal. And this is
here's the deal.
No, this is the truth. This is the truth about the way that this went down. Let's not forget that John Mara and Steve Tisch to a lesser degree, but more so John Mara, he has a huge ego. And I'm not saying that in a negative way. I'm saying that he is the chairman of the board for the New York Football fucking Giants. And he probably
there goes our playing show.
He probably had an idea for the way that this was going to go down, when he said, I'd like to see the quarterbacks play. And I'm saying to you that I doubt that his plan initially was to bench Eli in this way, but he's not going to throw McAdoo under the bus. The toothpaste was already out of the tube. Mara
he just did throw McAdoo under the bus.
He did now, but what's he going to do then when he says, when McAdoo says to him, we benched Eli and Geno's starting this week, what the hell is Mara going to do then? Other than let him out, say, you better make sure that this is right. You know what I mean? But now he has a loss in the public embarrassment, so now he can say, this didn't go the way that I wanted, so now McAdoo's fired. And, by the way, Jerry Reese, because you put us in a position where this is even something that we had to worry about, you're fired too. Because, by the way, the fact that we're 2-10 and we're going to be in a position to have to take a quarterback anyway, this shouldn't even be a discussion.
No, it should have been. That's exactly what I'm saying. And I got news for you. It should have been Davis Webb coming out of the fucking San Francisco game. I'm sorry. Like, as soon as he got the record and passed his brother or whatever, thanks, Eli, now sit down. It's done. Because I need to see and evaluate this kid, and the more tape I have on him, the better. And now it went from where it could have been 6 games to where now it's going to be 2. Maybe.
But the idea that we're 2-10 and our third round quarterback that we drafted just to fit into McAdoo's system, right? This is a guy that McAdoo picked because he thought he could run his offense, correct? So the fact that
Davis Webb. A lot of people thought Davis Webb could be a late first, second rounder, and he ended up dropping to the third. And even at the third round, he's a tremendous value.
But the fact that he is not ready to forget start. The fact that he's not ready to be the number 2 on a 2-10 team.
Abject failure.
It is a blatant mismanagement of the roster and the way that
I want to call CPS on Mara for neglect. That's what I want to do.
I totally agree. But you guys, we're so negative right now.
Well, Tim.
I never said that.
Tim.
It's so negative right now. It should be the most
negative right now.
Day.
To not be negative right now, considering how they've handled this, you're blind. You're blind.
It's over, though. You know what? We got
good.
Honestly, we
no
got
good
exactly what we wanted.
What they've done.
We got exactly what we wanted. McAdoo and Reese are gone.
No,
Why
that's
are we not celebrating?
Exactly what we wanted. That is not exactly what we wanted. If you said to me right now, if you had a choice between McAdoo and Reese being still the head coach and still the general manager and firing them at the end of the year and trading that for Davis Webb playing, give me Davis Webb playing. That is the number one issue right now, is the fact that that kid is not playing every Sunday, not a half. This isn't Madden. It's not Pop Warner, okay? The whole game, so that you can evaluate him. And don't tell me, well, how can you evaluate somebody in 4 games? How can you evaluate them in 0?
It's not even evaluating in 4 games. I don't think it's a fair evaluation when the offensive line's in peril and you have no offensive weapons.
That does not matter.
I don't think it's a kid.
It does not matter. This is a kid that came from an offense where he was doing one read. He was reading half of a field. Are you telling me that you don't want – I don't give a shit about the results. I want to lose. But I want to see if this kid makes – I want to see if this kid makes the progressions. Is he reading the right coverage? Is he getting better from series to series to game to game? Is he progressing Can he take a beating? Is he stepping up in the pocket? I mean, there are so many things to evaluate about him. There's no negatives to him playing now. Zero.
I agree with that per se. But I also think...
And hold on, Justin. One thing before I go. One thing. And how do we know this kid doesn't give you the best shot to win? We just scored 17 points with Geno Smith, and that was the most points we've scored in a month. Go ahead, Justin.
Well, and I want to get there. You know, we have a lot to cover over the course of the next, hour and 45 minutes. But one thing that I want to say about this situation is that I'm looking at the way that this was handled. If you take out the fact that Davis Webb, for some reason, they thought that he wasn't ready to play last week. They don't think that he's ready to start this week. So if you take that out, I'm wondering if maybe they're thinking, if we're going to bring in a new GM and head coach anyway, they're going to have to pick their quarterback based on their system. I think Davis Webb was a Ben McAdoo pick, and now that Ben McAdoo's not here, they're saying, maybe they're willing, as much as we disagree with it, maybe they're willing to say that third-round pick, we're just going to chalk it up, and if the new head coach and GM want to take a shot on one of these first-round quarterbacks, they're going to have to do it anyway. So what are we doing?
That is such a I'm calling CPS.
But the thing is, guys, you guys got to realize Spagnuolo, being the head coach, he's trying to show that he can win.
That is why John Mara, and Tim, you're cutting up, but that is why John Mara needs to run the franchise. Spags, I'm not going to evaluate you by the quarterback play. I'm going to evaluate you by how prepared the team is and how hard they play. I need to see Davis Webb play. And if you can get the kid to progress, that would say a lot about you over the course of a month. I don't give a shit about your feelings, Spags. You're going to be the head coach for the month. Play Davis Webb. Run your team, John Mara.
No, I think, well, here's the problem, is that I think that John Mara is cringing at the idea of Eli playing for another team.
Well, then he needs to sell the team. Because now you have just let your emotions completely run fucking roughshod. Okay? You brought in the head coach because of this guy. Because of Eli Manning. McAdoo got the job because of Eli Manning. So you took your feelings about that one player and that one player's window to win another championship, and you hired a head coach based on that player's resume and your sentimental value fucking feelings for that player. And it got you Ben McAdoo. So by all means, 2 years later, let's do it again. We got a call coming in, 217. What's your name? Where you calling from? Pardon? He's gone. Well, all right. Justin.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
So, but here's the thing. So, and we don't know, here's the other thing. We don't know what Eli's saying to them behind closed doors. Eli and Archie may have said, hey, listen, because of this, we're definitely not coming back next year, and on the way out, we're gonna burn the place down. And so maybe Mara thought, I gotta I got to save some face. And in the meantime, I'm also going to avoid, the revolt of, protest by the fans and the players. Unfortunately, am I still here?
You're there.
You are there.
Unfortunately, the Eli decision. The Eli decision has more to do with non on the field issues than we would like to think.
Look at these people on Facebook. Why send him off? Build it, Tyler Burke. Why send him off? Build a team around him, get another championship, draft a star, and have him. Because the roster's not close, Tyler. The roster's not close.
We don't have enough time.
Yeah, the rebuilding that this team needs, Tyler. And we all and Tyler, I'm not trying to be a dick. We all were wrong. We all thought this team was a lot better than they are. They're not. 217's back on the line. Where you calling from? Hopefully we got a better connection.
Go Packers.
Go Packers. You don't have to hang up, dude.
Fired.
You can say go Packers. Don't be. That was a little man. First of all, you had the guts to call the show, little man. And we don't hate on other franchises here. If you guys want to talk about the Packers, let's talk about Hudley. Let's talk about how they got a huge game coming up, Green Bay, because if they could find a way to beat Cleveland, which you think they should, although Josh Gordon against that secondary, Cleveland's got some weapons now. I think it's going to be a better game than people think. But if the Packers could find a way to win that game, okay, they can get Aaron Rodgers back the following week and watch out. So if you want to call back and talk Packers, buddy, please feel free. We appreciate you listening.
By the way,
another comment, Stephen Watson. You trade your first-round pick for extra picks, take the top offensive tackle and running back first 2 picks, and keep Eli until we see if Webb is okay. Well, I mean, that's great in theory, dude.
Wait. Hold on. I want to tackle that. I think I looked at the first 14 picks. I think they could draft down. I think they could trade down to at least 11. It's iffy if Cincinnati would take a quarterback. They could pull a ballsy move and take a quarterback. But they could safely trade down to 11 and still get one of the top 3 quarterbacks and pick up a second first-round pick.
Yeah, this guy wants us to take the top offensive tackle. If you're going to take the top offensive tackle, you can't trade the pick because the top offensive tackle is going to probably be gone somewhere in the top 7, you would presume.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's no guarantee who's going to. We have to see who picks where before we can start worrying about trading picks and what picks they may be.
Well, to trade down, your number one target is going to be Cleveland. They already have 2 picks though in the first round, 1 and 7. So.
Yeah, but they need all the players they can get too.
You're going to give them. They're going to have the 1 and 2, and you're going to go down to 7 and pick a tackle. What are they going to give you?
No, I use 7 as a. I mean, I don't know who's going to be where. What if they end up in? I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying I don't even know that we trade back. If I need to see Webb, because if Webb blows and Webb doesn't look like he has any clue of what's going on, and the new GM comes in here, he may not like Webb. He may not like Webb at all. And in that case, you don't want to trade back. You got to take. There's too many questions to fill. There's too many blanks to fill in before we get to the draft right now. Like the main thing is just seeing this kid, evaluating it, so we have some clue of what to do. I don't think that seeing Webb for a month or 6 games should make your decision. I just think it helps to make you more educated before you have to make that decision. I don't know. What am I, fucking crazy?
So, I saw Kuiper's big board today.
Mm-hmm.
1 was Rosen.
Where's Baker?
And 2 was Barkley. Baker was down, I think, in the middle of the first round, but don't quote me on that.
See,
I
think that's the move.
It got me to thinking. So, I'm just so tired of not having a running game. It makes my skin crawl that we don't have a running game. And this quarterback class is deeper. I mean, you can name 3 quarterbacks before you even name the quarterback that most people think is at the top of the draft. That's Josh Allen. You know, good quarterbacks in this league: Drew Brees, Andy Dalton, Derek Carr. They were all second-round picks. Russell Wilson, he was a third-round pick. Dak Prescott, third-round pick. Tom Brady, fourth-round pick. I'm sorry. Tom Brady, sixth-round pick. So I'm not convinced that, in order to get that quarterback that you want, you have to spend that premium pick. So you either trade down, or if you decide that you want a dynamic running back, because God knows the most dynamic running back that we currently have on the roster is Wayne Gallman.
All right, I'm back. I couldn't take the draft. Your guys' draft talk. Me and James have talked about this, and actually we agreed. And for once, so I want to bring it up. I've been looking at the draft, and let's take Josh Rosen out of it. He's not. We're not getting Josh Rosen. He's going to be Cleveland's number 1 pick. Between Darnold, Baker Mayfield, Lamar Jackson, I'm on the Baker Mayfield train. And I think we could trade down a little bit to get him, but if Giants really like him, I think his momentum is going up there going into the draft. And you can't mess around the quarterbacks. You saw how, Patrick Mahomes was supposed to go late in the first round. He ends up going 13.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these teams are
you can't wait.
I
think they're the only ones worth taking in the top 5.
See, that's even more of a reason for me. That's even more reason for me to evaluate Webb, though, because if the new GM doesn't like any of these guys, he could take another guy or trade back. We got 2 people on the line. 917. Where you calling from? What's your name?
You know me.
Oh, God. Did anybody look up what his nickname is?
Yeah. What was my nickname for you?
What was it?
Honestly, I've completely forgotten now.
You remember.
Oh, he knows that.
No, I don't remember the name. I know what it was based off of. I don't remember
Wasn't
the name.
Wasn't it
what
from
was
the
it? Oh, I don't remember at all. I just remember it was funny.
It had something to do with the Groundhog Day movie. That's all I remember.
Oh, yeah. Ned Ryerson.
Yes, Ned.
There we go.
There we go. Hey, what's going on, Ned?
One, I really have to question Baker Mayfield as your choice there. As much as I think he has potential in the talent range, I'm not really sure about his intangibles. I'm kind of scared that if you take him...
That's exactly where I'm against it.
Hold on, wait. Because I know where Ned's going with this. So, and I totally understand. But Ned,
and that's what I was going to give you props,
like
we literally
the intangibles.
last night.
When you talk intangibles, I see a lot of I see his teammates wanting to run through a wall for that kid. So what specifically do you see about him that you don't like?
I'm afraid that if you take him and put him in New York City, you could get a Johnny Football V2 situation where
I could respect that.
Where he could end up being incredibly irresponsible and completely tearing down his entire career.
Well, the thing with Mayfield is it more that he has the swagger? See, I don't. Do we know enough about Baker Mayfield where it's a lot of off-the-field stuff like Johnny Manziel, or is it just the persona he has on the field that leads people to believe that he is like a Johnny Manziel character? Because I don't see anything off the field that Baker Mayfield does that reminds me of Manziel, but I can see where if you see him and you see the highlights of him and you watch him play, where you can get a Manziel feel for him. So off the field, what concerns would you have for it? Like, what have you seen off the field with the media that would give you a concern in New York? Because it's a valid question.
I think legitimately the biggest issue would be things from on the field leaking towards off the field. We've seen what controversies will come up with something as simple as doing something stupid for a touchdown celebration here. I mean, I could imagine the media completely tearing him
So you're afraid we'd have
over.
So you're afraid we'd have a diva at wide receiver and quarterback.
Kind
of.
Yeah.
You gave him the opening.
I was waiting for it.
James,
set it
I
up?
was literally about to pump you up.
Did you see me set it up?
Yep, I saw. He set it up, but I wanted to actually give you props because me and you talked about it last night. We talked about this last night. What did we say? Baker Mayfield is the best leader, and that was confirmed. Literally, I watched Todd McShay and Mel Kiper sometime yesterday or this morning or something like that, and they were talking about that, and they literally said the same thing we said. Baker Mayfield is the best leader out of the quarterbacks by far.
Yeah. I think that kid comes in and he could just be he gives your whole franchise a different feel. He would be the face. I don't think I would take him at 2. You know, I don't even think I would consider him at 2. You know, but I think if you're in a position where someone offered you a king's ransom for 2 because they liked Darno that much, where if you traded back to 4, 5, 6 and he was on the board and you acquired another asset for later in the draft, do you have to entertain taking that kid? I think the answer is yes.
If you had another first-round pick, if the later one was still a first-round pick or really, really early second round, I could see it. I guess really my biggest concern is that, like, obviously, I at least I think what I've observed is that there can be 2 major types of leaders when it comes to a team, and one of those is leading via spectacular performance on the field, and then the other is just having like really, really good character and setting like a character example. And I'm scared that Baker Mayfield might be the type where leading via really, really good on the field play, and if he can't make a solid transition to the pros and he's starting to struggle a bit, will he be able to overcome that, or will that just become a sinkhole where...
that's honestly, that's any quarterback, honestly. I
but
don't know.
A lot of that, guys, right? Isn't a lot of that going to depend on who the coach is, right? I mean, and that's 100%. Why this is so difficult to answer, because we're sitting here having a conversation and we have no clue who's going to be calling the shots. These guys can come in and They may hate Baker Mayfield. They may not want any of these quarterbacks. They may not want Rosen, Darnell. They may say, you know what, we don't see the value here. We see, maybe another year of Eli, and maybe there's another QB down the line. Or we like Webb, and we can continue to groom him. See, I think that if you look at it like this roster is not close, which is my humble opinion, I do not feel like the roster is anywhere close to where they are going to be able to win. I think what you need to do is do a complete sweep of the whole roster. Okay, I think I would get rid of, and people are going to go nuts. I would cut salary like it was going out of style. I would trade for any pick that I can get, and I would redo this team with youth, a new coach, a new GM.
So you're advocating going full Sam Hinkie here. You want to trust the process.
No, it's the NFL, so the process could be expedited. It's not the NBA where you have to get if you hit on a quarterback in the draft, okay, with the fact that you won't be paying your quarterback $22 million, and the fact that if you hit on the right quarterback, you're going to be getting production that is going to far exceed that quarterback's cap number. Now you can use that money to strengthen the other needs on your roster while you build through the draft. And in 2 or 3 years, you could be looking at a situation like they have in Philadelphia. So it could be turned around very quickly. It's not the NBA.
Here's the thing. Lollymac said Odell would hug the net and Baker would start to hump it the next time for the TD celebration, which would be kind of funny.
Here's the thing, and James nailed it. Right, the quarterback situation. The quarterback situation in the future is dependent on who's the GM, who's the head coach, and what their system looks like, and what their vision for the team looks like. So, whoever it is that the front office hires in those roles, they're going to determine who the next quarterback is, and ultimately that's what's going to determine for us whether it's a guy like Darnold or whether it's Baker Mayfield, is if whatever new system we're running, because it's not going to be this one, is something that, they feel like Baker Mayfield can run.
And guys, you also have to take into consideration, like you Eli lovers, like it may be time to pack up, because a new GM and a new head coach is not going to want to teach a 37-year-old quarterback new tricks, and especially when that quarterback is making roughly $20 million against their cap. So the odds are that there's going, and with the quarterbacks that are becoming available, we're sitting here saying maybe they don't like one. The odds are when you're picking at 2 and there's 4 quarterbacks coming out that scouts are raving about and they're bragging about this draft being the next great quarterback draft, the odds are that the next GM and the next coach are going to be sitting at the number 2 pick. They're going to want to be tied to one of these kids moving forward, and not Eli Manning. And I'm sorry, that's just a harsh reality.
There's a guy that we aren't talking about. There's a guy we're not talking about, guys. Josh Allen from Wyoming is a good quarterback. They're saying reminds people of Ben Roethlisberger when he was at Miami of Ohio.
Yeah.
And if you want to go back in the day, that's who Giants wanted, was Roethlisberger if we didn't get Eli.
Yeah, but you know what, man? He's nowhere close to the top 4 prospects, and you're sitting at 2.
He will be. He will be after the combine. He's got.
I don't hold any merit. Newsflash! Breaking news! I don't hold any merit in the combine. 0. I don't give 2 shits
I know,
about the combine.
But other people do.
It's not about the combine. The combine is going to be like
the combine means nothing. I'd rather watch them on Saturday afternoons and see what I'm getting as opposed to in T-shirt and shorts throwing the ball around.
Oh, I'm just letting you know that his stock is going to shoot up after the combine.
But no matter where his stock shoots up to, it is not going to surpass those 4 quarterbacks.
No, I don't think that either. But I think you could get Josh Allen. Let's say
if you're sitting at number 2, then your decision's made up. One of those 4 guys. That's it. You're not going to sit at 2 and take Allen. You're going to trade back and then hope that you can nab him. But if you're sitting at the top 2, you're targeting those 4 guys.
So let me take you through a scenario.
All right.
Is it possible that the Giants are they able to get Josh Allen with their 2nd round pick?
That's possible.
Or maybe trade up into the end of the 1st round to get Allen.
End of the 1st round, possibly.
Now you're trading up. Now you're trading up, and you're getting rid of another asset to trade up in the 2nd round to take a quarterback when you just took a quarterback in the 3rd round last year. Someone fucking shoot me.
But stay with me. Stay with me. If we could get Josh Allen that late, even if we had to trade up 2 spots to do it, but say we could get him with the 2nd round pick. Do you take Saquon Barkley with the 1st round pick?
No.
And then run Saquon a la Ezekiel Elliott?
If you take any other player but a quarterback with that, there are 2 options sitting at 2. You take a quarterback, or you trade down. There is no way. There is no way you select another player at 2 because those teams are going to want quarterbacks. Those guys teams are going to be offering the moon to try to get their hands on a Donald if he's on the board at 2. I mean,
we could legitimately make out with a king's ransom for this number 2 pick if we don't like any of the QBs, any of the top 4 QBs.
Why you need to see Davis Webb play immediately. That is exactly why Webb needs to play immediately. Because what if the new GM and coach are like, well, we don't like these guys. We like Davis Webb. You don't know. I don't know.
That's fine. Then we're good.
I think I told Justin this the other day, right? I mean, the new GM that comes in, he may not want any attachment to Eli. He may not want any attachment to Webb. He may want to. You have no clue with these guys which way they're going to go. None.
I think this will be a situation where Webb is going to get put in the moment that the game gets out of hand.
You know what? I got a problem for you guys. Is I really think Giants are going to start streaking.
Jesus Christ.
The Giants are going to start.
I'm going to tell you right now, Eli is going to have his best game of the season this week.
Well, that would be perfect, right? I mean, that would be the perfect way for Mara to just fucking completely undercut the whole season, right? Because I could definitely see that happening where they win their 3 home games, right? They win their 3 home games and then they end up picking 6th.
Yep.
What would be the fan reaction if Eli goes out there, throws 2 picks, and has a fumble, and we get blown up?
It is so disgusting.
Put in Eli Manning as soon as they go up by 14.
It is disgusting. These guys aren't even Giant fans. They're not even Giants fans. They're Eli Manning fans. You know how many people I saw said they weren't going to the games anymore? Oh, I'm not going to the games.
Didn't you say that week 5?
I'm not going to the game anymore. They're going to bench Eli Manning.
You know what? Check the tape. Where's our intern? Check the tape because I want to put it out there that James said stop going to games in like week 5.
I did. I said stop going to games so they would fire everybody so that then we can move on and clean sweep.
And they did, and now you're still mad. You're still mad.
Because look at the reason. Did you see what the fan base did? Were you around? Did you see it? Did you see the former players? The snowflakes? Did you see them come falling out of the sky?
No,
the Giants are supposed to be a different kind of franchise.
They did Eli dirty.
We're going to wear his jersey to the game
him
and
over.
Shut the fuck up.
It's fair to have some loyalty to a certain player in a certain situation.
Bullshit.
Given exactly what had gone
Bill
down.
Sims was coming off a season where he actually garnished MVP votes, and they cut him over money. So I don't want to hear anything about loyalty. People don't remember how cold this business is. People were upset in Indianapolis.
And that's a move that's still contested to this day. That's still
But it happened. But it happened. And they always happen. You know Montana happened. Peyton happened. Aikman happened. Favre happened. It's always time for someone to move on. And when that happens, the fan base always goes crazy. And you know what management says? Okay, you'll be here next season. But our fan base, I'm not going to games. I'm going to root for Jacksonville. I'm not going to games. Bring back Coughlin. I'm not going to Giants games. I'm not rooting for us anymore. I'm not even watching. Shut the fuck up.
It's because I will say, partially, it's because they chose Geno Smith over Davis Webb. I do not think there would have been this much reaction.
It doesn't matter. It does not matter. If they chose little sister Mary of the Poor starting quarterback, Betty Cunningham to start on Sunday.
It does matter.
If she's wearing a Giant jersey,
we already
know
what Geno can do.
Oh,
we don't need to talk about Geno.
knows if it was Davis Webb over Geno Smith
for nothing.
The franchise, the fan base, let me tell you something. Bullshit. Because I understood what they were doing with Geno Smith. Geno Smith was out there to take the harpoons, so Davis Webb did not have to be the guy to replace Eli Manning. Wake up!
Then why not just have Eli Manning?
Wow. It sounds like James is a McAdoo fan. I just wanted to put it out there.
No, I'm a Giants fan. I'm a Giant. I understood the plan. The plan was the first thing they've done in a year that made sense, was to say it's time to move on. And the way they did it was Geno was the number 2. We're going to give him a start, and then we're going to move to Webb against Dallas. The fan base went fucking faggy. The former players went faggy, and all of a sudden we're back to where we started from.
The interim. If you wanted to go immediately to Webb, you could have gone immediately to Webb.
He was inactive the whole season. You can't go immediately to Webb. You got to prep him up a little bit.
I'm saying you didn't need Geno Smith as the barrier. You could have had Webb preparing and while Eli
but they didn't.
100%.
And then do garbage time.
And that's Mara's fault as well. They didn't. They failed in every way, shape, and form until they got to the point where they said we're going to expedite the process. And then the minute the fucking fan base turned into a bunch of fairy Mary Janes, everybody went back on their word, fired everybody, and now we got the old man back in there to try to win a meaningless game we should be trying to lose. It makes no goddamn sense. Take your blue blinders.
Can we at least both agree that they completely flubbed how they went about trying to do this?
It's obvious.
Like how they went.
That's obvious. But don't tell me it was the wrong decision. It was the right decision 3 weeks too late.
It was the wrong decision to do Geno. They could have kept Eli starting.
No, it wasn't the wrong decision.
100%.
It was not the wrong decision to do Geno because you had to do Geno. He was your number 2 all season. Wake up.
He should have been. He should have been number 2.
Or John Madden, where you can just plug guys in. There's a method. There's that are preparing to win that have fucking practiced with Geno.
Jimmy.
Jesus
Hold
Christ.
on, I think he dropped.
Hold rocket
on.
Science.
So obviously, Jimmy wants John Mara to turn into Jerry Jones. and be hands-on everything.
I think Jimmy's in a timeout, right?
I'm furious. Jimmy. I'm livid.
I love it. You got mad for no reason?
Jimmy?
There is a reason to get mad. That's why I'm mad. None of you other fucks are mad. That's what I'm mad about.
Hold on.
Also, people want clarification if you said faggy or saggy. That's also out there. I think it was saggy.
Oh, yeah. It was definitely saggy with an S. I'm sorry.
Hey, so here's the thing, though. All right? Jimmy, you know we're NWO.
I love when Jimmy's fired up.
You know that we're NWO, brother.
Fucking fan base. This fucking fan base. These spoiled young fan bases that just know 2007 and they know 2011 and they have no clue what it's like to get up in the morning and watch Dave Brown and Kent fucking Graham and Kerry Collins be your quarterback when Phil Simms was caught.
Kerry Collins got us to a Super Bowl.
Cold. Kerry Collins was a goddamn joke. That team got hot at the right time and had no shot against the Ravens. He shit himself the minute he saw Ray Lewis on the field. So don't give me the Kerry Collins thing. Kerry Collins was garbage.
Kerry Collins, he played against the best defense arguably ever.
And threw 5 interceptions. I mean, who cares? He choked. He didn't even compete that day. He didn't even compete.
Who the hell was he passing to? What was it, Ron? Who the hell was our damn receivers there? Ron Dixon?
Ike Hilliard. Amani Toomer.
James.
Joe Jurevicius.
Jurevicius. Get the hell out of here.
Hold on. We got another call.
And James, I just want to put it out there that this is the reason I troll you on Facebook. That in my mind, you're going off like this on Facebook.
Oh my God!
All right, let's see who's on the line. Ready?
I can't stand it.
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
What's going on, man?
Oh, man, I'm calling y'all from deep in the heart of Texas, man. I'm a New York Giants fan and been all my life. And I want to call y'all and let y'all know, man, I'm listening to, is that Jim talking shit like that about my Giants?
That would be Jim, yeah.
I'm talking shit about the Giants? Yeah. Our Giants.
Yeah, well,
our Giants.
Yeah, okay, well, let me ask you a question. Jim. Eli Manning been the quarterback for 13 years in a row? No, he didn't miss no games. He didn't miss no games. You know how many years we actually sucked? And he still was there, and he still was there as the Iron Man all those years.
Yes, he was.
100%.
So you mean to tell me that you feel that Geno Smith? Come on, man. Geno Smith.
No. I'm not. No. Do not get me wrong. Geno Smith is not a better quarterback than Eli Manning. This is not about.
That's what you.
This is never about Eli Manning. Stop thinking that this is a referendum on Eli Manning. Thank you, Eli, for all you've done. You're the great. What do you want me to? Do you want me to blow him? Do we have to blow the guy?
No, Jim. You don't have to blow him, Jim.
I mean, he's the greatest quarterback in the history of the franchise. No one is disputing that.
Okay, well, can you give him a little respect?
Hold on, wait. I let you talk. Allow me to retort. Okay, if you want to make the move to Davis Webb, okay, he's been inactive all year. We all admit they fucked that up. Okay, but you can't go back in time. So if you're going to expedite the process and you're going to pull Eli Manning, why would you want to start Davis Webb in the middle of a media firestorm on the road when you could put Geno Smith in, who has been your number 2 all year, up Webb's reps and get him ready to go for Dallas in the
Well, let me ask you this, though, Jim. Out of all season long, why would you wait for 5 games to want to evaluate Davis Webb?
I agree with you.
You might as well wait till the end of the season and do just like preseason. Hell, we called it preseason.
No, you're wrong. You wasted 5 weeks already. Why are you going to waste another month? The kid was a 3rd-round pick. That's valuable. That's
valuable, but also out of the 3rd round.
The 3rd-round pick on a quarterback.
But if you got a 3rd-round pick quarterback, Jim, and he's a 3rd-string quarterback,
the object is not to win games. We're not trying to win
games. So we taking.
These coaches are trying to win now.
You want, as a Giant fan, you want to win? You would rather have the number 2 pick or the number 6 pick?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, how I look at it, the time for winning is now. You spent all the money. You spent all the money. You spent all the money on the defense.
The time for winning was September. It's done.
That's what I'm. I'm talking about. I know. Jim, don't get me wrong. I know the season is over with. But what I'm saying is, when you want to compete for Super Bowls, you don't want to start all the way over. You're already going to get a new coach. You're going to get a new GM.
Where do you think you think this roster's close?
Yes.
I mean, we was a few injuries away from being a competitive team. Listen, man. We get a fucking good, at least a halfway decent. If we get a halfway decent,
they suck.
Listen, if we would have had a halfway decent ass goddamn offensive line, there's nowhere in the world that we wouldn't have been able to compete. Now
and if my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle.
I can't really. I think that it ain't no convincing you, Jim. You're not going.
It's not a matter of convincing. It's what's right and what's wrong. It's what's right and what's wrong.
He just has his thoughts and he just goes with it. You can't change his
mind. Concern is horseshit. My concern is, what is the quickest way to put the 5th trophy in the case? That is I don't have any personal feelings. I don't give a shit about Victor Cruz and his feelings. I don't give a shit about Eli Manning and his feelings. When I look at Eli Manning, I say thank you. Now it's time to move on. Like so many other franchises have done in the past. And luckily, just like what happened in Indianapolis, when it turned out to be a bad situation, you're in a position where you can go from one franchise quarterback to the next. And you can't blow that. Those chances don't come along very often. So the time to win is not now. The time to win is next year and in the future.
That's what I'm saying. So what is the formula to winning next year? The draft? Baker Mayfield?
I don't know. I know that having the highest value pick, even if you don't like the quarterback there, may net you a king's ransom in picks so that you can refill some of the holes on this roster. I know that I have more value in a draft that has 4 top quarterbacks coming out, sitting at 2, than I do at 5.
True.
Well, I tell you,
it's common sense, guys. This isn't about feelings. It's not about Eli's feelings. It's about the next decade, not the last one. So cry me a goddamn river with the guy that's making $20 million and has 2 Super Bowl rings. Cry me a fucking river.
He got the 2 Super Bowl wins. The 2 Super Bowl wins.
James, I got a question for you. If we take a quarterback with the number 2 pick, how much are we paying him?
Probably around what? $6-7 million?
How much is a second round pick is going to make $20 million?
No, in the full contract, but what's it going to be against the cap? They have the cap numbers on the rookies now. The rookie contract scale, he can only make $5 to $6 million in his rookie season.
I don't think it's that high. What's his name?
$35 million, but that's spaced over 5 to 6 years.
Patrick Mahomes is getting 23, I think.
Yeah, but that's 23 over the course of 4 years.
Not 23 for 4 years.
I think it's top 5 a year, about $7 million.
$4 or $5 million a year. So if Eli's making $16, $17, $20 million, pay a rookie quarterback $6 million, you just freed up $14 million on your cap.
And who's moving shit while we're doing the show?
And who has the radio on in the background?
Mm-hmm.
All right, process of elimination. Let's go through the mute button. Let's see it.
I'm here. I'm not moving anything. My heart's pounding at 1,000,000 miles a second.
Dude, you need to relax. We don't need you to have a heart attack on the air.
I love this team. I love this team. I love this team. And I just want to see what's best for the future. The McAdoo thing was a mistake, and luckily they have ripped the Band-Aid right off. Okay, but you can't, considering where we are, considering what our record is, considering the quarterbacks that are coming out in the draft next year, considering the salary cap situation, considering the new regime coming in, you cannot mess this up.
Has anybody heard about the coach coming out? Is there any truth to the Gruden shit? Is the Gruden shit any truth?
I hope not. I hope not. I don't need Gruden to come in here. Here's what you're going to get if Gruden comes in here, okay? You're going to get Gruden who wants to win with Eli. So you're going to have Eli still on the team, which means you're going to still have his huge contract, which means you still are just putting Band-Aids on broken legs to try to fill this roster and win in 2 years before Gruden leaves so that you can then fire everybody else and start over again. No thanks.
I'm fine with Gruden if he comes. Because honestly, I think his brother's going to get fired this year, and he could be the offensive coordinator. And he'd probably bring somebody. I'm sure he gets connections to a defensive coordinator that's probably solid.
Can I say something?
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy, I have a
Go
question
ahead.
for you. I have a question for Jimmy.
Yes.
And Jimmy, this is because I know you and I love you. All right? Did you medicate properly before coming on the show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that was the most irritated I've ever seen you.
Because I don't get how people get it. I don't get how people don't get it. It's the most frustrating thing to me. Do you know how many times my Tourette's, when I saw these Giant fans fucking crying, I was like, you're embarrassing. I get embarrassed. I'm like, oh my God, look at you fucking people. Like, it's only a player.
Let me say this to you.
It's a fucking player.
Let me say this to you. And I'd like to, I know I'm not the CEO and I don't control the topics, but we could debate this Eli thing forever. I'd like to maybe move on to the GM and coach conversation. I think that's important.
I'm with you.
But I want to say this, and this is important. And Jimmy, you know that I agree with you on 95% of the topics that we discussed. But you're dead wrong on the starting Geno thing. You couldn't be more wrong if you told me the Earth was flat and global warming wasn't real.
Oh, NWO's breaking up. The NWO's breaking up.
And here's why.
Just give him the chair.
Here's why, Jimmy. Because we're 2-10. We're 2-10. All that stuff that you're saying that you got to play the second round pick because he's had the reps, that's just not true. Play the drop.
I love it.
That's not true.
We're 2-10.
I didn't think it would have been right to throw the kid in. the whole season. I understood what they were trying to do. I understood what they were trying to do.
Additionally,
I don't think it was the smartest plan. They fucked the whole thing up from the beginning.
Additionally,
now we're getting comments that the Earth is flat.
By starting Geno, you've allowed Geno to prove that he is an idiot. Because what Geno had a one-on-one meeting with McAdoo before they left New Jersey. The first thing McAdoo told him was, 2 hands on the football, don't drop my football. And what did that guy do? He dropped the football because he drops the football. That's what he does. So the only reason that you play Geno Smith in that spot is if you're trying to lose. And that's why when John Mara's sitting at that podium,
they scored more
me
points
that
in that game than they did the last 3 with Eli.
That's
Just
a bunch of crap. Now, I will say this.
It's true.
I will say this. While we're on Geno, aside from those fumbles, Geno played pretty well.
I mean, is it unreasonable to believe that maybe Ben McAdoo honestly thought that at this point in his career, because if you've been paying attention, a lot of people around the Giants facility think Eli's best days are gone. So, I mean, is it so far gone to believe with the way Geno played on Sunday that you couldn't see seeing them in practice that you might say, you know what, considering the team we have, Geno may be a better quarterback for me to play considering this team? Is that so far-fetched? Is that blasphemy to say?
Yeah,
it's the fucking truth.
If that's the case, then Davis Webb should not be playing. If he wasn't out playing Geno Smith, he shouldn't be playing.
The only reason to play Geno Smith in that spot is twofold. If you're Ben McAdoo, one is if you're trying to prove to management that you're not the problem.
Yes.
So if Geno Smith wins you a game against the Raiders, who are decent, when our defense is completely dismantled and injured and torn apart, if Geno Smith wins you that game, then Ben McAdoo can say, yeah, look, I wasn't the problem, Eli's the problem. So that's the first reason. Now, Geno lost the game because Eli wasn't the problem. But Eli was a problem, but he's not the problem. And the second reason that you play Geno in that spot is if you are just oblivious and you think somehow in your mind, in the same mind that's telling us that at 1-7 we can make a run, if you think that Geno can be your starter next year, which
I don't think it had anything to do with Geno being the starter next year. I honestly think it had to do with, one, he thought Geno gave him a better shot to win the game, and two, it was a better move to not replace Eli with Webb. The better move was to let Geno take the slings and arrows that were going to come inevitably from ending the streak, that streak that Giant fans love so much. Let Geno take the slings and arrows. Let Webb amp up the process. He was in the locker room. He was in the cafeteria. There were 2 people in the cafeteria last week after hours, and it was Davis Webb and Eli Manning. So obviously the plan was in motion to start getting Webb ready to, 1, start taking some practice reps, 2, be ready to play against Dallas.
Yeah,
Geno was never getting a second game. The reports were out that Webb was being amped up and he was going to start in Dallas. So it made sense to me when I wasn't one of the ones screaming and crying and threatening to throw myself off a roof because of Eli Manning, when you were actually sitting down and reading the articles that were coming out, and you were able to say, okay, if this is the plan to get to Webb, considering how they screwed it up, I can live with Geno Smith for a week.
Because
that's how I took it.
Eli gets it. Eli was a rookie once. He was he was a highly touted rookie. He was more highly touted than Davis Webb. Eli gets that at some point a rookie is going to have to replace him. But if you take the franchise great, Eli Manning, and you spit on his 210 consecutive starting game spot.
Fuck his streak.
You spit on it.
Fuck it.
For Geno Smith?
For the better of the franchise. Remember, this was Mara's idea.
No. Mara said...
Yes. This was Mara's idea to get a look at the younger kids.
Yes. You're correct.
Okay.
It was Mara's idea to get a look.
And it wasn't, and Mara's quote was not, I want to take a look at Webb. It's, let's take a look at the two other quarterbacks to see if they can help us in the future. I believe that was his quote. So no one knows how what we feel about Geno Smith is immaterial.
Geno Smith is not our future.
No shit. I'm not the one saying it. Mara did. Mara said that. The guy calling the shots.
Oh, shit.
Jimmy, are you telling me?
No, I don't agree with him, but that's what the fucking guy said. He didn't come out and say our goal was to play Davis Webb. John Mara came out and said our goal was to look at the younger QBs, Geno and Davis. He said it.
Are you
I
telling
didn't say
me?
it. Don't get mad at me.
Okay, but hold on. James, I'm going to ask you this question. Which of these two scenarios do you think is likely true? Do you think scenario A, John Mara tells Ben McAdoo, or Ben McAdoo tells Mara, we're going to start Geno this week, and John Mara says, that's a good idea. Go ahead and do that. Or do you think that John Mara was in Virginia, he had a discussion with Jerry Reese, he said, we want to take a look at the young quarterback, and that's how he left it. And then these two idiots decided to bench Eli.
No, because I don't think the conversation happened quickly. Because if you remember, reports came out 2 weeks prior to this happening that the Giants were looking at the younger quarterbacks in the draft.
Yeah, but listen to me. Mara also said in his press conference, and I listened to it, Mara also said, I don't talk to the head coach. I leave that to the GM. That's the GM's responsibility. So
he
I think
is
Mara
full
said to Reese,
of shit.
I think Mara said to Reese, I want the rookies to get some time. You figure it out.
That's not true.
Reese said that to McAdoo, and McAdoo, because he's an idiot, screwed it up.
Here's what happened. Here's what the fuck happened. Oh, my God! Mara says we want to look at the younger quarterbacks because we need to look at the guys that are coming out in the draft. The idiots, Reese and McAdoo, decide to put the plan in motion. Instead of being men and saying, Eli, sit the fuck down, they go in with this bullshit scenario of, do you want to start and come out? Do you want to play half the game? Do you want to maybe play a series? Or do you want to play a little bit? And then maybe when the bell goes off for recess, you can go out and Davis or somebody else can come out and play? Instead of sitting down and saying, this is the direction we are going, and owning it and saying that we apologize that we fucked this up because we should have traded you 3 weeks ago. But I'm sorry, Eli, we need to move forward, and the message is we need to see what these younger kids have, Geno included. So be it. Tough shit. It's the NFL. When I was 11 years old, my father sat me down and he said, son, it's time for a very important day in your life. We're going to watch The Godfather.
And I learned something very important that day, gentlemen. It is business. It is not personal.
Business.
Take your damn feelings out of it.
All right, let's. We got 30 minutes left. Let's switch directions.
For someone who got so mad, he says, "Take your feelings out of it."
When it comes to these players, I mean, we all love the team, but when it comes to the players, fucking relax. Relax.
Hold on.
I don't remember the Godfather getting so heated up.
They come and go.
Can I transition us over?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I have something very important to say. And it goes. It's an
need to break a news button.
It's an extension of something that I said earlier. McAdoo is an idiot. Did you see what they said today? That Spagnuolo went back to a more stereotypical practice schedule of practicing on Friday and having Saturday as an off day? You're telling me that it was McAdoo's idea to have Friday be the off day and to have a full practice on Saturday and a game on Sunday? No wonder we have 24 guys on IR. He's an idiot. An idiot. He should never coach again.
Hey, who hired him? Who hired him?
He's gone too.
What the fuck are you doing?
I guess
I'm pretty sure ownership signs off.
Happen, huh?
I'm pretty sure I heard on Francesa Mara say we sign off on all head coaches. So there you go.
All right. Who's the dream get for coach? We'll do that for both coach and we'll do GM.
The dream get for coach?
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen, but for me, the dream get for coach is Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Jim.
If you said you could have anybody, I want Jim Harbaugh.
Interesting. Okay.
Because he's going to set the attitude for the team.
Jim Harbaugh.
I just want to put out there, Jim Harbaugh can't beat Ohio State.
I got a top three.
Jim Harbaugh went to the Super Bowl with Colin Kaepernick. Just saying.
Did he win?
He went. Has anybody else been to the Super Bowl with Colin Kaepernick? Anybody else at all? Is there
Only
anybody
America.
on that list?
Go ahead, James. What's your top three?
I've given a lot more thought about GM than I have coach because I think GM comes first. My top three would be Cassiero from the Patriots, Pioli, because I think Pioli would get a lot of guidance from his father-in-law, Bill Parcells, especially if his job was with the Giants. I think Parcells would be involved in some way. And my dark horse guy is Phil Simms, to be honest with you. And that's not just because I'm a Phil Simms guy. It's because that if you have been paying attention over the last 20 years, Simms with his contacts through CBS, how much work he does, he's watching film all the time. Boomer Esiason busts his chops. They work on the NFL Today. Simms knows about all these players. He watches film 24/7. He's a maniac. I would not be surprised if he got an interview. I don't know if he'd get the job. I think he gets a job in the future. But Cassiero, Pioli, Simms would be my three guys for GM. Coach, if you're bringing in Cassiero, I would imagine that McDaniels would probably be my guy. I think that if all things considered, looking at the league, the guys available, I think I would target. I don't think any of the college guys are realistic. Saban and Shaw, I think they're good names. I think both of them would be great fits. I just don't think either of them leaves. And I think when it comes down to it, we're looking at maybe McDaniels being the head coach of this team. I don't think that's a bad thing either.
Okay.
Tim?
Well, the one thing I got to say about Saban, I just saw today was he's like $27 million just to buy him out of his contract. But yeah, I would go with top three as far as GMs. I like Louis Riddick. I think he could be a good GM. Number two, one guy I was telling James about earlier was Elliott Wolf, Ron Wolf's kid. If we can steal him away from the Packers, that would be a great get. But knowing the Giants, I have a feeling the guy that's the interim coach, GM right now, Kevin Abrams, who's known around the league as being one of the best salary cap guys in the league, I think he's going to end up being it, probably bringing in some personnel guy with him.
No. So
I'm hoping that's not the case, but I like to see a fresh new start. But as far as coaches, I'll give you my coach real quick. No, number one, you guys already know, I've been preaching David Shaw. I want David Shaw. I've been looking around the league, and I don't think it'll happen because it's New York, but I think Jim Bob Cooter should be considered.
Please let it be Jim
I love that guy's name. I love that guy's name.
Just for name only.
Yeah. Coach Cooter.
For the love of God, please let it be Jim Bob Cooter.
So this is how I'm thinking. I think what the Giants are doing right now, or what they've done recently, isn't working. I think they're going to go with an experienced college coach. Exactly the opposite of what McAdoo was. He never managed. He never coached on a big scale. He was always a coordinator or a positions coach. So they're going to get either a guy with experience. I don't think they would do that, like NFL experience. I think they're going to go with a guy who's coached a big program. I have a fun feeling it's going to be David Shaw.
I would love for it to be Shaw. I really would.
And I think when we were talking about Baker Mayfield before, it's the exact opposite of Eli. This is like a guy who has teammates running through a wall, pumped up. He shows emotion on the field.
You see it. You see it a lot. You see it a lot in sports where a coach or a manager, right? They have a certain persona, right? And a lot of guys are calm. And some guys are calm. Some guys get all riled up and are a little more emotional. And usually, when guys are successful or the team has had a run of a certain string of guys in a certain way, usually what will happen is teams will go the other way. So if you have a calm coach, sometimes you go to a guy who was a little more fiery. If you had a guy who's a little fiery, now maybe you go to a calmer guy. I think that may apply in the NFL to maybe the quarterback situation with the New York Giants. We've had a guy that is quiet, classy. I would never say a bad word about Eli Manning. Despite the fact that I think it's time to move on, the guy's been phenomenal. He's been Jeter-esque for our franchise, and you tip your cap to him. But I think it may be time for that spark a little bit. It may be time to go in another direction.
Follow-up question on David Shaw, and then I have a little something to add to the GM conversation. But follow-up question, David Shaw, is if David Shaw is named head coach, do they find a way to take the running back Love out of Stanford?
Second round, I wouldn't mind it.
I don't.
Do they go?
Or does Andrew Luck want out of Indy?
That's a hell of a question right there. Indianapolis offers you Andrew Luck for the number 2 pick straight up. Do you take it?
No.
No, because I don't play 20 million guys that 20 million of the guys that don't play.
Yeah, I would have a problem with the contract. That would be my no. You'd have to give me a lot more than just Andrew Luck for me to take that contract. I think I'd rather go with the younger guy who's cheaper, not coming off shoulder surgery. But I think Andrew Luck. I do think Andrew Luck gets moved this season. I just don't know where.
No, that's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah.
I don't.
What about Cleveland? Can you see Luck going to Cleveland? Can you see them swinging a deal for number one?
Yes.
I think Cleveland's desperate enough to make that move.
That's a shitty move for Cleveland.
I can see Cleveland doing it without that.
But
I could see Cleveland doing it. The team that should be doing it is the Jets.
If I was Cleveland, I think I would do it.
I think if I was Cleveland, I would too. I think if you have the cap space, and Luck brings instant credibility to a team that has none in a long time. Now, do you have to make sure his shoulder's right? Yeah, but you know what? Drew Brees came back from that same surgery, pretty much same injury, and he's played for years now without it being an issue. May Luck lose some arm strength or anything? Maybe, but it's still Andrew Luck. He still knows how to play the game. I think that would be perfect for Cleveland to take him. You don't got to worry about making the pick and worried about blowing it. You're getting a proven commodity, and you have the money to pay him.
And GM-wise, going back to previous topic, GM for the Giants, future GM, I didn't think Jerry Reese was that bad. I thought he was going to get fired at the end of the year. But, he's even the Patriots have misses. Every team has misses. You're not going to get a draft where you're going to get 7 Pro Bowlers. This is just not going to happen.
Very true.
I think they're going to keep it in-house for the GM.
I'm afraid of that.
I think here's what my spidey sense is telling me. I have it on good authority. I know someone who knows someone that passed along to me that Ernie Accorsi is going to be a lot more involved in the GM process than anyone is letting on.
And and he's going to pick Gettleman. Gettleman's going to be his guy.
Right. So if that's true, then Gettleman's your GM. And I have every reason to believe that is true.
So do I. I think Gettleman's going to be the guy in the end. I won't be happy about it, but I think Gettleman will be the guy in the end.
I don't know if, like Jimmy said, I don't know if that's the right choice. I will say that I trust Ernie, and the reason that I trust Ernie is because Ernie drafted Eli. Ernie had an eye for Eli from the jump, and so if he's shaping and framing the GM conversation, even if it is Gettleman, you can bet that when Ernie's in that room, Ernie's going to say, we need to make sure that we have a guy that will have the capability to carry a team long-term a la Eli. Not saying he has to be exactly like Eli, but he has the long-term staying power. And so that's why I think that, when you're looking at head coaches and you're thinking that it's going to be Ernie and Gettleman, I think a guy like a Josh McDaniels, kind of like what Marco was saying, I think that's not likely because McDaniels, he had the same issue that McAdoo had. he was out the door because he was 3-9 in his second season, and the reason that he was is because he was part of a regime that drafted Tim Tebow, and so they're not going to let a guy like Josh McDaniels come in and make that quarterback decision when they have on a track record that he already screwed up that decision in a franchise once. So because, of course, he and the crew are involved in this, if you do see him take a quarterback, if it is Mayfield, it's going to be with a much sturdier head coach. If it's not Mayfield, it'll be one of the more stereotypical classic quarterbacks, the Rosen or the Darnold, or the Josh Allen.
Just as long as the quarterback has quick feet, we should be fine.
Or knows he needs quick feet.
Those are big skills. I don't know. So much. When do you think the GM situation is going to? You think we'll have a GM in place by the end of the season?
I hope not.
I think you'd see. So I think the GM announcement comes either championship week or the week off between championship week and the Super Bowl.
They're going to need permission to speak to guys that teams are still in it, right? I mean, if they need to interview Cassiero. Whether they give him the job or not, to not interview that guy is a complete disservice. There's also the Rooney Rule, so they have to interview African-American candidate even if they don't intend to hire one, if they know who the guy is, which is totally fucked up. But it's the rule. This is going to be. I don't think it's going to be quick. I think it's going to be. There's going to be a lot of candidates. We're going to hear a lot of names, but I hope it lasts through at least the Super Bowl because I'd really like them to sit down with Cassiero from the Patriots. If there's a GM job open and you don't ask for permission to sit down with that guy, at least you've done yourself another disservice to the franchise because he is the name right now. That's the guy. But like what Justin said, the fact that Accorsi's making these decisions, when it comes down to it, I think he has an inside voice for Gettleman, and the Giants are going to take that to heart. They're going to take what Accorsi says to heart. He's there for a reason.
Right.
I'll also give you another name, Eric DeCosta.
Odell, what's with you, Odell?
That's another name that's been coming up.
It's a clusterfuck, gentlemen.
While we're on Odell, I just want to say one more thing to John Mara.
Odell, what's with you, Odell?
I got something about Odell before we say goodnight, too, real quick. Go ahead.
God.
Oh, here you go.
I want to say one thing about Odell to John Mara.
About the Golden Boy?
No, yeah, it is.
John Mara sat in his press conference, stood in his press conference, and had the gall to tell us that the GM would have, while he thought that Odell would be part of the team, that would be discussions that they would have with the new GM to make sure that that's the way that he wanted to go. Don't even front with that. Odell's on the team. You're not cutting.
You don't know that. You don't know that. You don't know that.
James
what
let
if
him out.
the new GM thinks he's a cancer and doesn't want to pay him $20 million to be a cancer? You don't know that he's going to be around. Cancer? I think he's a cancer. I don't think you'll ever win with him. Yes, I do. I said it. And let me tell you something, Odell. Before you start posting shit about how you're no different than Eli Manning, Tom Brady, win 5 rings.
I knew that was coming.
Win 5 rings, and then you can marry the kicking net. You can fuck the kicking net. You can have babies with the kicking net. You can have fights with people on the field. You can go dancing on a twisted ankle. You can hang out on a boat. during playoff week. If you win 5 fucking rings, you can do whatever you want, Odell. Until then,
I'll just slip it in.
Slip it in.
Odell hasn't even been in the league long enough to get 5 rings.
That's where you should shut the fuck up. If you're still playing on your rookie contract, shut the fuck up.
I love Jimmy.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Is that
a lot
because,
I said to my wife tonight, I said, I saw that thing about Odell, and my Tourette's went off again. And I said to my wife, I just started cursing. I said, you wouldn't even think I'm a fucking Giant fan. These people are getting on my nerves.
I really don't.
Between Odell, the Snowflake fans, the former players, Eli crying, fucking Joe. It's like it should be on ABC at like 3:00 in the afternoon. Housewives.
Why are you yelling?
This question's for Marco and Justin.
Sure.
Do you guys realize that James is like the old Grandpa Giants fan? The only one he likes is Phil Simms. He hates Eli.
And Gary Reese.
Hates Odell. He's just on his porch on his rocking chair talking about the 86
good old
Giants.
Do you remember the hit with Gary Reese?
Bobby Johnson.
We had a lot of profanity on this show. YouTube's not going to be pleased.
Oh yeah. I'm not even going to
me.
try to turn ads. This one is going to be an ad-free YouTube experience.
They hate me. The younger Giant fans hate me because they've been spoiled. They're spoiled. All they know
who
is
else hates you?
2007. All they know is Eli Manning. They don't know what it's like for a quarterback to get hurt. They don't know what it's like to see your backup during the season. They don't know what it's like to have Kent Graham playing or Dave Brown playing. All they've seen is Eli Manning. They're a bunch of spoiled brats. I said it.
But
come at me.
But
you know who else
about that?
You, Jimmy?
You fuckers are young too. I may include you 3 in them.
And I want to put out there that he also wants Bill Parcells to come back, even though Parcells is like, 85 years old?
That is true. The only reason I want Pioli is because I think Parcells comes with him.
Package deal.
If it wasn't his father-in-law, I would want nothing to do with Pioli.
You said something amazing there. The new Giants fans don't know what it's like to have an injured quarterback.
They don't.
Yeah.
They don't know what it's like to be in Week 10 and watch their quarterback go down when you're 10-0.
Yeah, and watch your backup
in the middle of the 90 season,
like the Hawks,
and have to sweat it out with Hostetler. They don't know what it's like to have Sims get cut coming off his best season where he got MVP votes because his salary cap number, they cut him cold.
Exactly.
In the middle of the summer, right before
it's time to move on. Too much damn money. You didn't need to be
100%.
there.
I didn't cry. I didn't turn in my jerseys. I bought a goddamn Dave Brown one.
You did
Dave
not.
Brown?
You did
I
not
bought
have a Dave Brown
jersey. In shame.
Oh, my God. First of all, anybody out in the Giants universe,
Shame.
if you have a Dave Brown
Shame.
jersey, please send
Shame.
a picture.
Giant fans
You know what I had? I actually had a T-shirt with that asshole on the front of it, and it said Dave Brown, armed and dangerous. It should have just said
did
fucking
it say on the front of the
dangerous.
T-shirt, that asshole?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm a huge Phil Simms guy. Did I? I'm not going to root for them anymore. No, you just keep going, sissies.
Hey guys. I had an idea for how we could end the show.
Sure.
I think it's good. I didn't run this by you, but I think this is a good idea. I think we should call the GM voicemail and welcome the new GM.
Whoever it is.
You think it's?
Leave him a voicemail like 3 months in advance.
No, you know what? Let's put our names in. Let's put our names in for the job.
I'm using an alias.
Do you want to call? Hold on. Let me find the number again. That lady slipped it to me. Hold on, where's the number?
This poor guy's been on hold for 37 minutes. He's been on mute.
I'll just slip it in.
This poor fuck. Why don't you join us for the last 9 minutes there, buddy? You've been a good sport.
Who's been on hold?
I don't know. You sleeping?
He fell asleep.
Probably.
I'll just slip it in.
Who the hell is just on hold for us?
That's what she said.
Oh, I found the number.
That's called an interception, jerk off.
All right, ready? All right, I'm going to call out.
All right, here we go.
Hours Monday through Friday. For information on becoming a Giants PSL holder, please dial 1-877-694. Press 1 for general manager, scouting, salary cap. Press 2 for the head coach. Press 3 for assistant coaches and player development.
We're going. What do you guys want to go? What job are we going after?
Press 1 for general manager.
Okay.
Press 2 for the head coach.
Okay, ready?
Press
Here we go.
3 for assistant coach.
Go to the general manager. Go to Abrams.
Wait while I transfer your call.
Hey, Abrams. I want to send my resume. That's what we'll say. We say we want to apply for the job.
As a group of 4.
As one.
You have reached the New York Giants College Scouting Department and the Office of the General Manager. We are unable to answer your call at this time. If you care to leave a message, please do so. Thank you.
Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
And we don't know who's going to get this. Is this Abrams or Mystery GM? Who's there? Well, this is James from Bleedbigblue. Hey, guys, say hello.
Hey, what's up, guys? What's going on, Mr. Abrams?
Justin from Bleedbigblue.
Abrams, we know that you're the interim, and we're wondering what we'd like to do is, we've got our website here, bleedbigblue.com, and what we're trying to do is the 4 of us would like to apply for your job, the GM position. No offense, it's just we want to strike while the iron's hot, and considering what's been going on over there, we're pretty sure we can do a better job. If you can get back to us, Marco, is there an email that we can give him, Mr. Abrams, to send us what we should do to get him a resume?
He could email us at info@bleedbigblue.com. Nice and easy.
Abrams, you got that?
We want to say, for the record, that we want to make it very clear that we're applying as the 4 of us.
Yeah.
Justice, Marco, Jimmy, and Tim, last but not least, because we believe that there's power in numbers, and the 4 of us could really revolutionize the GM game.
We're willing to still keep you on as an assistant because the odds are is that the 4 of us would end up killing each other in arguments, and we would need somebody else to at least make a pick while we're on the clock.
Well, it is a package deal. It's the 4 of us, and we actually come with an intern who's really not that good.
Yeah, he's a terrible intern.
Yeah, he shows up about half the time.
Yeah.
I do want to put out there that James would have had no problem with the Eli situation and would have just told him to sit his ass down.
Exactly. I would have been a man, unlike who we have running the show now. I would have been a man and told him to sit down so that we can see Davis Webb play, because I would be the GM and I would have to worry about the future of my franchise, not appeasing a crybaby fan base and a bunch of former players.
So obviously, James won't be doing the press conferences for us, but
no, you don't want me talking to the media. No.
Marco will handle the press conferences. He's used to dealing with crowds of people and lots of questions.
Sure.
Jimmy and I will be numbers guys because We're bankers for now.
Yeah, I want nothing to do with it. No, I'm a personnel guy. No. I'll be.
Yeah,
I'll
I want to be
scout.
player personnel. I want to be player personnel.
Yeah, I'm good.
But
I
I
don't
also
find
want
it bad when it comes to the picks, though, Kev.
I also want to say to management, don't be alarmed that there's 4 of us. We're not looking for, an exorbitant salary.
Yeah, whatever the GM said, whatever you were paying Reese, we'll take it and split it in 4.
Right, we'll split it 4 ways.
It's fine. It's fine. We don't even have to talk about it.
Yeah, we're not even looking. We're not trying to hold you guys over the coals. We're just trying to do what's best for the team. Because obviously you guys aren't.
Oh, we are going to need 4 key cards, though. I heard that those are big.
Yeah, if we can get 4 key cards stat, that would be great. Abrams, you getting all this? Take a memo.
Yeah. And we don't just need key cards. We need key cards that work. Make sure that they're programmed properly and that they can get us in the door. That's important.
The minute we get in there, Abrams, you're fired. I said it.
No.
I'm cleaning house.
This before
we
coming
get the
on.
job, everybody's gone.
First of all, we get the job, everybody is gone.
Everybody's gone. Get rid of everybody.
Literally.
Clean slate.
I will.
We'll do what the Giants did.
I can't wait for Jimmy to have John Mara's phone number.
No, we'll do what the Giants did. We'll just let all the fans complain, and the ones with the best complaints, we'll just give them jobs.
I think that's pretty much what we're doing.
I just want to say for the record that if we become GM, the 4 of us, I think I can speak for us pretty clearly. Jason Pierre-Paul better fear for his job because that guy nailed it, and we're pretty upset.
Oh, there'll be some cuts going down.
Yeah, we've talked behind
You are
the
approaching
scenes
the
over here.
maximum length for a recording. Finish your recording after the tone.
Kev, call us. And don't ever let that woman cut us off again. I thought we settled this with Jerry 2 weeks ago.
Odell, what's with you, Odell?
You have reached the maximum length for a recording. To send this message,
Could you guys just imagine if James was in the front office when Odell was on the boat trip?
Oh.
Yeah, he's still mad about it now.
Miami. I would have flown to Miami. And I would have dragged him back by his orange hair. I swear to God. I would have killed him.
And I just want to put it out there, the draft room would not be a good place to be. You think we're swearing now? If we're fighting for the people we want, it's going to be ridiculous.
We'd be choking each other. Trade back. Draft this guy.
Who the fuck would
Fuck you?
The draft room with the 4 of us, it would be the best day of my life.
It would be the fight in Anchorman when they all show up nice and calm.
Yeah.
Oh, that escalated quick. It'd be a complete clutter. It'd be spears getting thrown, bombs going off.
Don't touch your face.
So this year's draft is going to be crazy because it's we're at the number 2 spot.
I think we should go to Dallas.
Get on a flight. What's Myron doing? Does he want to fly us down to
Dallas? Yeah.
Dallas?
I don't know. Where's Myron been?
On
He's been
Twitter.
MIA again.
We got 10
everyone,
seconds left, Jen.
All right, if you haven't done so, hit that sub button. We'll talk to everyone later on in the week. Say bye.
Bleedbigblue. Always.